Hey, and welcome back. So today we are going to start testing the things we have built out. We have so many things that are kind of working now, and we need to start adding some polish. So just to recap, we've done basically computer use within the desktop. We have a browser, we have linear integration, we have the ability to work with Claude Code and Codex. And yesterday we kicked off a built memory task, and that we're going to finish today, and then we're going to start testing things and just polishing. So the idea is that hopefully next week we'll start doing daily integrations into new systems, and with that we'll be able to provide a very capable experience. So we want to have impeccable in there, we want to have hyperframes. We want to do all of these open source tools so we get this workbench where we can actually get work done. So let's dive into it. So I think where we left yesterday was we were looking at some code for memory management. So we took this repository, we analyzed what's in it. How far away is it from our repository, and what can we do to take the best parts and get that integrated into our system? So we've done that, and I think all that's left to do is let's get it to merge in the latest develop. And then after that, we'll be ready to test. And then hopefully with that, we should be ready to actually start using this workbench. I have a few other minor fixes coming in, so they're being worked on my laptop. And hopefully soon enough they will be ready. But let's log in, let's get this done. Let's get to a point where we have a version 0.1 that we can ship. And we will aim towards shipping the first version on Monday. Let's see, while we're doing this, let's just check out what Codex came up with. So if you remember either yesterday or the day before, we were looking at synchronizing trolls.im with YouTube, so we get all the live streams up there and ready. Assist an event to broadcast mapping plus encrypted channel. Okay, let's do this. 2 weeks. That's the estimate this will take. I reckon it will take half an hour. Let's see. Okay, so that is done. Let's check out. Okay, let's go and check out how our PI is doing. Is it coming in or not? Okay, so we are having a update on voice call and reliability. So this fix we do need to get in because it actually fixes a serious bug that we found. So before that's ready, we can't really get that done. Let's see what else we have merged. I'm wondering if we merged the make prompt section, switch chains, prompt editor. Okay, so we have the peripherals, we have a whole bunch of other things that has been merged. Drive windows with virtual cursor. Okay, cool. So we just need to wait for this one to get in, then we need to do another develop merge into our current working branch. And once we have that, we're ready to test out how computer use works inside of this desktop. The tests I ran yesterday was very promising, but I haven't actually tested it with the system agent yet, so I have no idea. Meanwhile, maybe we could try to run a test here just so you could see. Could you run the benchmark? Well, actually, could you run the demo again? And so what will happen is that in just a second, it will bring up a Wonop window. I'll move that one down and I can just show you what computer usage looked like when I was testing it yesterday. So I'm super excited about this because this is really the last bit we need to give Claude and all the others eyes and ears and actually do real work. Okay, so right now, oh shoot, I forgot there's a bug. And that's one of the reasons why we need to get the PR in, because this bug is actually already fixed and we don't want Claude to fix it here. All right, well, we'll come first that it's done fixing things here or that our PR lands. All right, so the window came back up. I fear a bit that if I resize this window, it will crash. So this is a bug that's related to window resizing, and it was fixed on the main branch or on the develop branch. We're just waiting for the PR to come in for that fix. But let's see if it is going to run the demo anyway. And let me just bring Claude up on another screen so I can see what it's actually doing while we're looking at this. So what should happen in just a bit is it should open a browser, it should move it to the side, it should go to a URL, and that's what's happening now. It opens the browser, it moves it around. Oh wait, no, it's sending messages now. It's sending messages. Let me just try to do the demo. Could you do the demo where you move the windows and go to roles.im, interact a bit with the page. So the demo it was just doing is the new graphics layer for interactions, which is also super cool. But that was actually not what I want to show you guys. What I want to show you is the following. So it should be doing this now. So you see it's moving things around. Let me just see. You just use the peripherals. All right, let's see if we can get it to do this. Oh wait, we moved over here. Why? Ah, so that one is merged or is merging now. Let's see if we get the computer usage to work here. So close the windows. And you see the cursor now. So the cursor, the virtual cursor is right here. It went and it clicked the address bar. It is navigating around on the web page, clicking random things. And okay, you can't see this because of me. Let me just move myself down here. But just look at that. All of the things is just moving around without that we actually have to do anything, which I think is pretty cool. And so we're going to put all of these things together today. We're going to get the voice improved slightly. We're going to get the computer usage to work, and then we're going to test out memory. Let's just run this one more time. Or did it finish? No, it's running something else now. And so the idea here is we want to create this workspace where the agent can actually go and properly test the website we are working on. And so for that, we are creating a full computer system for it to work in. Again, you see it's entering the address. It's scrolling around on the page like a human would do. It can click on things. It has the possibility of seeing what's going on. And then, of course, we have the voice interface that allows us to interact with it, which we'll get to in just a bit. And with the memory system, I think we're going to completely crush it. I think this is going to be absolutely amazing. Hey, FSC driver, how are you doing? We're just testing out the computer usage. And by now we have our PI in, I believe. Let's see. Was it merged? Yes, it's merged. Cool. So let's get back here. Okay, let's see. Let's get back here and get this. And then we're going to let Claude just do its thing while we, well, basically do its thing on both accounts. I think that's pretty much the demo of the computer system we have built in. So let's close this one. Get back to get back to our other Claude. See if it's done merging things, and once it's done, we're going to work out exactly where we start this from. So PVD. Okay, this is almost unreadable. Let's try to do this again. Central European summertime. That's the time zone I'm in. Oh, wait. Clear. PVD. Copying this across to our terminal so we can change to the right place. That is, if we can find our terminal. That seems to have gone. What the fuck? Oh, alright. I moved it somewhere. I moved it up here. So let's just bring that right back down. It's right here. We're just going to stop that. We don't need it to do anything more here, but we will change directory. So I watch a lot of vibe coding streamers making products for vibe coders. Yeah, I think this is not really a product for vibe coders as such. This is more product for myself to help me manage all of the things that I'm doing. So I'm using AI for a lot of things. So I'm using it for creating documents. I'm using it for creating the thumbnails on my YouTube and all of this. And I just want one workspace to actually do all of this. I don't want to have to switch around between a gazillion apps. Yeah, I'm actually not sure that that's the best strategy to sell to the viewers. Maybe that works, maybe it won't. Only time will tell. But from what I've read, most of the people who are doing live streams actually sell other places, which which is a thing that I'm working on at the same time. I'm slowly starting to build up my X outreach to do better sales there. Let's see. Okay, so this is done now. Let's try to fire it up and see what it does. Yeah, obviously you do need there will be some of your audience that will buy from you. But I think at least from what I've heard from some of the streamers, it's not their stream, the ones who are on the stream that actually buy. A lot of times it comes from other audiences, such as X audiences and whatnot. But, you know, I'm still figuring all of these things out, so maybe in a month or two, I'll be able to give you a more clearer answer on what works for me and what doesn't work for me. Yes, that's what I sell. They sell to their audience. Yes, yeah. I get what you're saying. But what I'm saying is that typically they have different channels, and some of the channels works better than others. And I think the live stream is usually not the place where they sell the most. All right, let's check this out, see if it's working the way it should now. So one thing I do need to do is just bring up the settings. And we're going to voice. Automatic gain control. We don't want that. Voice gate, take that off. Trim silences in reply. Don't do that. Okay. You don't. But wait. So, but you don't have other channels. You have YouTube. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to sell your product, you need to set up audiences, and your audience is currently YouTube until you expand. Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. But that's basically what I said, that I am starting to expand into X as well. And actually, I've been streaming on X all along, but I'm starting to be more active on X as well. to expand on that one. All right, let's test this out and see if it works now. Hey there, can you hear what I'm saying?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, could you click on the address bar in the browser and type in google.com, please? Nice. Now click on the search field in the Google browser and type in Hello World. Remove the S and press enter. Remove the S in the search bar and press enter. Okay, this kind of works. So we now have a voice interface where we can speak to it. So it didn't get all of the things. So it didn't remove the S. And also somehow our sound has died. It doesn't speak out what it's supposed to do. So, but we're definitely headed in the right direction here. Okay, let's just try to call this one up again and see. Could you just make a phrase and speak it out? So I actually forgot that I made an update that requires to download a new local model. So the original Parakit model we were using was an 8-bit version, and we want this to be 16-bit because the 8-bit version is actually pretty rubbish. And it seems that there's still no speech. Okay, so we need to fix that. Until then, we will just try to use the terminal here. Okay, so could you check if you have access to memory functions? Could you check if you have access to memory functions? Okay, let's copy this across and then just stop. Wait, so it built out the memory as a package or what? Oh, it did. But there's nothing opening when I open it. Let me just check one thing. That the others do open, so this is not the bug we had earlier. Okay. Interesting. So this is actually pretty interesting. I had expected. Oh, sorry. I had expected we would implement memory as a first-class concept. It seems that it has implemented memory as a extension, which I think is really interesting because that's actually a pretty good idea. That means that you could have a memory that you're using today, but eventually that's going to be outdated. And so the community could come up with better memories. The question though is, does our extension system have all the things we need in order for this to work? And also, is the problem that we haven't installed it? If we haven't installed it, why does it show up as an icon? Interesting. Okay, let's just try to interrogate Claude about what we have actually done here. Hey Mim. Yeah, so what I'm building is I'm building an agent desktop. And we're working on a few different things, but the key vision here is to have a way of working with agents that's artifacts first and text second. So right now, when you're working with Claude Code or you're working with Codex, you get all of this text. And really where we want to be is that the thing that you care about is, is the outcome, right? So you care about what does your website look like? What does your document look like? And all of these things. So what we have built out here is a desktop application. So it's basically a window manager we've written from scratch that allows you to open different programs. So we could open Claude Code here and it will ask a question here. So open without role. And we get a small window here with Claude Code. And we can then call the system and ask it to send a message to the Claude Code. But also we want to have more windows in here, so we have the possibility of bringing in linear with our tickets. And so now you have your tickets, you have Claude Code, and you can ask the system to go and look at the tickets. Oh, let's see, let's bring that in here. Right, so you can ask the system to look at your tickets and bring that in to Claude. Yes, it's kind of like a memory harness, but it's more than that. It's more of an interoperability harness, right? So you have your coding agent inside it, but you also have linear, and we're building out the memory module now. So we want to have LLM Wiki, the Kapathy method for arranging knowledge. We want to have a way of doing semantic search for some of the things that are happening in the system, and we are still in the very early stages of developing all of this, and so I've just broken the voice module, but we can see if we can get a small demo to work. Could you send a message to Amber explaining her that we are going to do a demo and she's not to make any changes to any of the code? Just reply as if we were doing a real work, but don't do any changes. Interesting. So I think we've broken more. Let's just try this again. But it will not have issues like it will use more context and it will use more tokens, right? Well, that's actually the key point here, right? You can start up a Claude agent, and because it's a fresh start, you can do something with a relatively small amount of tokens. So when you're handing something in there, you can get it to do some of the side work. So let's say you're discovering a bug while you are actually working on something. You can start up a Claude agent that's working in the same directory, get one Claude agent to send a message to another one, and avoid high token usage. Then we are implementing a whole bunch of things to make sure that we keep token usage down for the system agent, which is things such as observational memory and basically collapsing things into smaller segments so that your token usage is meant to be relatively low. We haven't done any benchmark on this yet, but we will once we have polished the system and fixed the things that I've broken. Okay, let's see what happened here. So somehow it did not send any messages. Let's just try this one more time. Hey, could you send a message? Oh, hey, could you send a message to Amber saying that we are doing a demo and she's not to make any changes to the code? Just pretend that we are making code changes. Okay, so normally when voice would be working, we would get a response back from the system. And we have some replication we need to deal with. We have a few other things. But now here's the key thing. So let's try this out. We have a ticket on integrating Spotify into the system. Could you take the content of that ticket, send it to Amber and say that we want to pretend that we're implementing that? Yes, exactly. So it's basically compacting memory as you go. So this was a concept, I think it was developed by Cloudflare, where basically the idea is that you're taking all of the things that are happening inside of the system, you turn it into a foldable statement about what happened. And so you don't provide all of the context, but the context is expandable if the agent ever needs it. And it will get more useful and less tokens, because you can make a plan in Opus and everything else. Yes, yeah, exactly. Right. So the key premise here is to create a underlying what do you call it? A framework for agents to collaborate and integrate with tools, where visuals are the key thing we're trying to achieve here. So I want to be able to see my tickets, and I want to know, okay, I'm working on this workspace. This is the one ticket that I'm working on. Send the context to the agent. And so you see we have actually done just that. So it took the content of the ticket, and I see it has sent a bit more than what I actually asked for. But, all right. But that's why this is still our alpha system. We are not done building it yet, but we're getting there. So that's the core concept. And so the underlying system is built out in such a way that all of this is happening in a sandbox TypeScript engine, which means that basically everything, the way that the agents are interacting is through a sandbox TypeScript engine such that nothing escapes. And you have a nice thing that drop thingy underneath. I'll integrate that in my ID too. Very nice visual. Oh, thank you very much. I'm happy you like it. And so one of the things we've been working on as well is making sure we have computer use. So you see this little round dot is actually the agent cursor. So we can open a browser, get it to navigate around on a website and look around. We are in the process of making all of these things work really well, so that we have proven each of the concepts, and now we're just getting it to the point where things are actually nicely put together. And we have discovered quite a few bugs. So let's see here what's happening. And it's worse than extension. Right, and we've done a complete mess up here. So the two memory implementations, and they don't talk to each other. Like, how could this happen? I thought I was very, very clear in what I wanted, but clearly, well, I have been very clear because Claude clearly realizes that I wanted that. Okay, so we still have work to do here. It's clearly not working quite as we wanted to. No head derivation, no suppression, no loop, no slope. Okay. Why it ended up that way? Okay. Yeah, we need to correct from this. So clearly we didn't read the specs careful enough when we did this yesterday. What I fixed in this turn. Okay. Let's just All right. Let's see. In the meantime, let me just go to my laptop and figure out why we're in a position where things are not working the way that they should. So I have my laptop over here where we did work on the voice, and I need to improve that slightly and make sure that we get the voice back. Okay, so while that one is working on that, we are going to move on to the next thing. All right, let's jump into where did Codex go? Codex is here. So I wonder what has it done. But require create product assumes gate production. Please confirm. One, should the broadcast target? Yes. Yes, but make this an environment variable we can set at deploy. Can every managed broadcast be marked? Okay, so I don't understand this. But yes, I think we will mark everything as not for kids. So one thing I'm slightly worried about here is that I think it might have understood something wrong. Accept the remaining defaults per opt-in. Defaults. Okay, let's do this. Now, to be clear, we want to copy YouTube events into trolls.im, but not the other way around. Yeah, okay, so this is exactly why we have human review gates, because it actually got this wrong. Okay, cool. So long live human review gates. Let me check out actually going on my laptop. And let's try to restart this app just to check if we can figure out why the voice synthesis stopped working. Oh, actually, one thing we should have tried. Oh my goodness, we still have this bug where it crashes. Okay, we have quite a lot of work to do. Oh no, that was something else that failed. Okay, cool. So that was not this. Great. Let's try this out again. We're bringing this down here again, and we'll test this out. Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Okay, let's see if you can keep talking this time, because last time you voice stopped while we were talking. So could you just say something? Okay, so it seems to be an issue with the first message, right? So we sent the first message, we get voice back, subsequent messages don't play back. So that's a quite useful hint on what we need to get done. So I've passed that on to the agent that's working on the laptop, and we'll see if it will manage to fix it. In the meantime, we are working on getting the memory working on this system. What is Fast Coach? This is Codex Audio or 11 Labs? Okay, great questions. So the audio is completely local. So if we go into the settings, you have the possibility of, wait, this is, yeah, there. You have the possibility of using cloud, but we are using on-device models here. So we're using on-device for capturing sound as well for playback. So we're using Kokora for the playback. And let's see, the test button is also broken now. And so we're debugging right now. So I've tried to do an optimization to make this work better. And in doing so, I have managed to destroy the local model, or at least how it's working. So we are debugging why that happens on my laptop. And yeah, but we could switch to cloud if we wanted to. So you can press here and you can choose OpenAI for doing the voice synthesis. We could probably also plug 11 Labs in if we wanted to do that. So, right. Getting back to the other question, what is Fast Coach? Fast Coach is this app that I made, which is allowing you to train so you have, if you have videos of yourself, you can use this to train a virtual version of yourself. You see, I've uploaded a lot of material here, and that material is all about how to use AI for doing coding and doing it well, right? And so with this, I've trained a virtual version of myself. I have 6 versions here. We have version 6 live right now. And so if you go to trolls.ai, you will be able to interact with this version of me. So you could ask here, what should I do to get the per turn success rate up for my AI coding? So what this will do is it will search the knowledge of all of these videos and figure out exactly what the videos I'm explaining that in, and make a response based on that. So you can see it's still having a few rough edges. Like for instance here, the source should be made as a batch rather than an inline XML tag. But these are things that will get to work nice and slowly. And then down here you get the citations of what it's doing. And so this is basically what Fast Coach delivers. It's also available inside of our Slack community. Undivide might take too much time, right? Actually, it doesn't. So one of the things that I found is that you can get it to, it's pretty fast at both transcribing and at synthesizing. The main problem is inside our own system, where we have a pipeline for how it should be doing the interrupts and all of that, and that's not working quite as it should right now. Let's try to do a small example here on at least a transcription, and then we can do another demo of the voice back a bit later once that's back on. But let's see. So if we go here, also I have some issue here with repeated messages. I need to figure out what's going on there. Hello, could you just tell me what you're up to right now? So you see how quick that message came around? It wasn't slow at all, and this is with local AI. And the same for the voice synthesis itself. Kokora is super fast and actually providing a pretty high quality. Unfortunately, it's also broke at the moment, so I can't really show that part. Yeah, exactly. And so what I really hope will happen is once we have this working nicely, that you'll be able to use the system without having to pay for a subscription. Because at the end of the day, if you're using OpenAI with the real-time GPT, you end up paying a pretty large premium on what it would have costed you. And so, mind you, this is running on pretty old hardware. So this computer is from 2022. And yeah, I tried to make a managed reader, but it took time to transcribe the audio on my local machine. Okay, so what model did you try? So the model we are using here is Parakit from NVIDIA. It's working super well. And what I discovered this morning was that the quantized version is not really working as well as we would want it to. But the 16-bit version floating point version is really good. All right, let's see where we are at with... So it claims it has done something here. Understood. YouTube. Yes. Import. Public upcoming. Yes. Yes. Confirmed. And it claims it has done stuff now. Oh, and I'm getting agent overwhelm here. So I also have an agent that's ready on my laptop. Yeah, Kokora is pretty good. So at least for voice synthesis. I wasn't aware that it can also do transcription. But so I'm using Parakit for transcription and Kokora for voice synthesis. All right, let's check this out. There should be memory now. Yeah, exactly. For text to speech, you use Kokora. And it's a really impressive model. I don't know what your results has been with it, but for me it works really well. So on Apple hardware, it's it's just amazing. All right, let's check this out and see if there's actually memory now. Cool. And so obviously one vision for the memory here is that we want it such that when we start up an agent, when we start up Claude, we start up Codex, we want it such that the memory is plugged in and that Claude actually have access to that memory, or at least parts of it. Could you check that you have access to the memory?
I'll check whether memory is accessible now.
So now you got to hear the voice actually also running on the system. So the bug that there's said right now, what happens is that the first turn it will speak back and then it just gets silent. And so we're working on fixing that. Hopefully we'll have a fix in just a bit, but it's a kind of annoying bug. Okay, I don't have memory in this run. Why? Let's just check this out. So why do we get the message repeated so many times? Okay. So let's feed that back into Claude. 2 issues. Thanks a lot. I'm happy you enjoy it. I hope to be able to ship the first version of the system around Monday, and so it will be completely free while it's in beta. So I hope you guys will try it out and give me some feedback on what you like, what you don't like. It's going to be Mac OS only for starters because I can't spread myself thin across too many platforms. But yeah. And so one of the things we have implemented is this grid. So basically we have this grid that auto scales the windows. And when we move things outside of the main focus area, what will happen is that the window becomes smaller. So you can just pull it out here and it becomes a widget. This makes it a lot easier to have a lot of stuff on your desktop at the same time. And so what we're really going for here is a fully spoken desktop where you can manage your artifacts and get your work done by only speaking to the desktop. Then the other thing we have, so on the left side here, we have a workspace overview, so you can add new workspaces. And on the right side, we have a log of everything that's gone on in the system. And then on the top, we have the thing that I'm using for debugging, which is the chat, the TypeScript console, so you can see what's working, what's not working. We have the logs, what happened in the application. We have the context. We have the system prompt that we can go and edit. We can make this big and basically go and add and remove sections. And actually, this might be one of the problems because I didn't realize that I turned all of that stuff off, but I obviously did yesterday when I was testing things out. So it becomes mission control where you can run apps inside it. Yes, that's exactly correct. So basically the way this is built out, I've built it as a system where all the icons that are in black here are extensions, which means that only the terminal, the browser, and the agent store and the settings are native first-class apps that can't be removed, but the rest are extensions. So this works exactly like you would have in a Chrome browser, where you as a user of the system can go and write a new app. And so that means that when you want to have linear integration, you can write an app, which we've done here, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, we made an integration where we made it so we can see our tickets. And we also have one for GitHub issues, Epidemic Sound, just to try out a few different ones. Now, if we go back, let me just go back here. You see, we have the linear thing here. And the way this is built out is that the moment you have built up an app, there is an agent interface for that app. And so you can ask it to, for instance, delete tickets or create tickets. And again, I think it was yesterday we did this or the day before. You'll see in the live stream, we have an example where we actually start out by canceling all the tickets and then create new tickets solely by using voice. So that's the first aspect. So you get all of these views. It's basically inspired by how I operate in Codex. So one of the things I really like in Codex is the side panel. So when I get a browser up here, the agent can start interacting with it. I can annotate and it feels like a shared workspace. And basically my problem with Codex is there is so much text here that I don't care about. What I care about is what does my website look like and does it work? And then I care about that the agent can do as much of the work itself as possible. And so what we're really doing is creating this shared workspace where you and the agent can be on a mission together to do whatever you're doing. Does that make sense? All right, give me a second here. Okay, great. Happy that landed. All right, let's see where our memory update is at. So the problem seems to be policy. My fault though, and repeat of mistakes. This is already file documents surface. Okay, so we should be able to reply repeated 5 times. Older bug, not mine. I love how Claude constantly claims that things are not its bug. This happens all the time to me. That it comes with this thing, it's not my bug. And it's such a software engineering thing to do. It's not my bug, I'm not going to fix it. Just fix the thing, really. It's a bug. The turn loop exists. Okay. Okay, so it seems that it actually did fix it, but still, the attitude. All right, let's check whether codex is still working. It is. And it seems we still have quite a bit of progress to do here. Okay. And I don't know if you heard the little change in music, but there seemed to be another bug in my app that it wants to take control over the volume somehow. That's a little thing that I need to debug as well. So right now, when I'm testing this on my laptop, it works well with music on, so it shouldn't have any need to turn down the music, but it seems to want to do that anyway. All right, while it's fixing this, I'm just quickly popping out. We'll be back in a second. Yes, AI is controlling everything nowadays. It's actually, I think, one of the reasons why I've started doing live streams is because I think it's one of the places that AI hasn't taken over yet, where you can do something that's kind of authentic, or well, which is authentic, and where people feel certain that when they see it that it's actually not AI. Well, it's about AI, but it isn't AI itself. But I think a lot of platforms are having huge problems with it, with AI, basically just flooding them with stuff. But basically, one of the things that I hope to be able to do relatively soon is to be able to do all of my work hands-free while I train on my rack behind me. So I think that would be absolutely amazing if I could do workout while actually doing work, which is also why we need this broad integration, because I have a wide variety of tasks that I'm doing. It's not just coding. So for instance, I'm making thumbnails for the YouTube videos. I'm planning my days in the calendar and all of this. And I want to be able to interact with all of this in a easy to manage way. Okay, let's check out where our merge request is at. Let's see. Right, it's testing right now our voice fix, so hopefully that will be done in just a second. Yes, basically Javas in some form. And I think that is pretty much the dream at this point, right? We transform Alexa into something that's actually useful. More than just a timer and a music player. Okay, we'll have to wait for this one to get in, but hopefully once that gets in, we will be able to have voice synthesis working again in all the turns. So, and then let's see, where did codecs go? That is still working and it's going very slow. That's okay, we are in no rush to get this in. And now I forgot, what was it we asked it to fix here? Oh, right. I asked it whether it had fixed the issues. Both verified structurally. Well, something tells me it hasn't fixed it. Oh, you have given a nice idea to me. I'll connect my Alexa to my... Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Doesn't want to try Bohei? What's Bohei? Let's see. I've never heard of that. Not sure what that is. Yeah, so actually one of the things... so mem, is that correctly pronounced? So mem, one of the things that I've been looking at is I want at some point to be able to take this desktop app we are building and then connect it to a web call and then being able to call it from my phone such that I can go out for a walk. My agent calls me and I can give it instructions on what to do next. It should be able to send me screenshots if there's something it's in doubt about. And so we have that capability inside of the app. So it's using WebRTC for the actual call. So getting it to do this remotely should be relatively close. We can do the screenshots. We can do pretty much all of the things. And so really we just need to get it all together. All right. And the cost of having CI, it can feel so slow at some points. But it's necessary. Without it, we would break everything. But it's just when you're used to the speed of prototyping things with React and TypeScript, doing anything that's even remotely solid engineering feels very slow. Yeah, exactly. Something like that. So I did try Hermes for a bit. I found that the voice interface there wasn't working as well as I wanted it to. I don't know whether that has changed. I haven't tried it for quite some time. But definitely the idea of being able to connect this directly to an Alexa or to your phone or whatever, but being able to cook while still coding and managing your day-to-day work, or going out for walks, or even lying at the beach and still doing your work. Like, that's the dream, isn't it? Yes, I do agree with that. I think that there are too many buttons to press. Which is also exactly... This is exactly the point I was trying to make in the X post when I started talking about this. So I wasn't mentioning Hermes directly, but if you go here somewhere... Okay, it might be pretty far down. Okay, I think that's all gone. It's... Okay, let's see. So basically the thing I did was I took a screenshot of a completely gray surface just with the phone button for calling, saying, is this UI too complicated? Which is pretty much what you want, right? You want something where you don't get overwhelmed by the UI, and that's what I have with the text at the moment. Whenever I talk to these agents, there's so much text and so much nonsense that I actually don't need. Yes, that's the key prompt here. Recreate Hermes, but in a user-friendly way that my mom could use it. All right, let's see. Is this one not in yet? Why is it not in? We're still testing things. Patience. This is done though. So let's go and check if our memory is up running. Yes, that is true. I think that's true at least, that Hermes is open source. But to be fair, I think what we're doing here is doing more than just Hermes, right? So we are creating, together with creating all of this, we're creating a space where the agent can actually operate things itself, which I'm not sure. Maybe Hermes has this functionality by now. It certainly didn't have it when I was trying it out. But basically, the ability to open a browser, clicking buttons and doing all sorts of things didn't work when I tried that out the first time in Hermes. So let's see if this comes up now. We can try to do a small demo of that. We are still without the voice synthesis, but the rest should work. Why Rust and not Electron? Well, for a couple of reasons. First of all, if you're using Tari with Rust, you basically have the same setup as you have with Electron, but you get a much smaller binary. Secondly, Rust prevents so many errors that you don't have with TypeScript. And so, since I don't really care about the complexity of writing Rust, I think it's a better choice in that it's much more likely that your code will come out bug-free. Okay, let's check this out. See if this works. Could you open a browser and then in that browser click the address bar and type in troels.im? Then once you have done that, take the browser, drag it all the way to the right. So this is a functionality we implemented yesterday and which we're just trying out, which we're basically testing as part of today. So you see, it's now opening a browser. And in just a bit, we should be able to see the virtual cursor popping up. It should be able to press the address bar and then add the address that we said that we wanted in there. This is still very early stage functionality, but you see it's dragging the window around, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know whether it actually managed to enter the address, so it's still very early stage. No, it didn't enter the address. So there are still a few bugs we need to fix here. Yes, it's true that target folders grow a lot. So I've solved this by using Bazel. And so by using Bazel, you basically get this shared cache that everybody's using. And it still takes up a lot of space, but it makes that you don't have all of these target folders scattered across your computer. So I see, let's just try to do this again. It didn't do quite as I wanted it to. Okay, so it seems that you didn't manage to enter the address correctly. Could you click on the location for the browser again and delete the about colon blank and instead type in google.com and press enter? So I think it did something, but I think it still didn't do what it was supposed to do. So it just focuses the browser. That's exactly it. It will have full access to the sandbox. Once we're done with this, it will be able to navigate the whole thing. It will be able to take the browser, click on the address bar, and we're just going to try to issue this request again. So I think mostly this should be a system prompt issue, not so much a capabilities issue. And yes, it has access to everything inside the sandbox. Outside the sandbox, it can't do anything. Let's try again. You need to use the cursor to click on the address bar in the browser and then type in the URL. It didn't work what you were doing. And so one of the reasons why I really want this is I want it such that when we are working with the agent, it should be able to, as it builds out the whole thing, it should be able to test what it's actually building. And I got this to work very nicely where Claude was controlling the thing. But as you can see, this is still very early functionality. We landed the implementation yesterday, the first implementation of this yesterday, and we still have some work to do on this. Which seems to be... Oh, it didn't even... Ah, now it's doing something. Or not. Okay, so it's in the middle of a turn. We need an indicator to show that it's actually working. Because right now I'm a bit in doubt. In particular with the voice gone, it's very hard to see if it's actually doing anything. You and mine are very similar, but your visual is more minimal than mine. It's like canvas, like drawing annotations with windows and all of that inside the canvas. Ah, yes. Yeah. So you're building something similar. Feel free to drop the link in the chat. I would love to check it out. Okay, let's see. So it seems that we have a small issue here that it actually doesn't. So it, I mean, it focuses the window, but you need to use the peripherals, mate. What the hell? So control point. Oh, so what is actually the issue here? So it does try to get the control point, and it gets the browser rect, computes a whole bunch of things, but then it fails miserably. So that one just keeps running. Okay, so we have a bug here. What is Gian? Never heard of it. All right, let's check. Why is this build taking so long? That should have been done ages ago. Okay, nearly there. No idea what Gian is. I'll be posting on Discord the screen shorts. Okay, let me check out Discord. Where did my Discord? I see, you just joined. Ah, right. Yes. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. But for a second, I thought you were talking about a product somewhere that I hadn't seen. Oh, wait. Let's bring this up so everybody can see it. That looks super cool. Nice. And you also have plugins. Yeah, I'm seeing the link. I'm sharing it right now on screen. So Havika, it's shared in Discord. Super nice. Yeah, I like this. So I think there are many similarities in what we are trying to achieve here, right? So basically one place to manage all of your work, and that's pretty cool. And I see you have the little speech bubble up here as well. So what are you using for voice? Okay, that one was done. Did we get to test it actually? Let's try that out. Wait, I'm confused. What am I looking at here? Ah, deepgram. I see. And yeah, the vision here is definitely also Java's. Yeah, I like that. It's pretty cool. And so you're building for Windows basically. And I gather this is Electron plus TypeScript. Oh wait, this is somebody else. This is oh. Right. Okay. So we have quite a few people who are building this kind of stuff inside the community. Nice. Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. If you just join. So up on here, just a second. And join our Discord channel, and you can post in there. Okay, where were we at? We were testing memory. Hey, memory is working. Okay, cool. Let's check if we got that PI in. So something passed now. But did we actually get to a point where things are merged? Okay, we'll just need to have even more patience. I feel like that seems to be stuck, that worker. What's going on? Oh no, that's the late message. I'm trying to implement that slide thingy you did with the chat history. That's really cool. Wait, let me just get back so I can understand. Are you talking about the event log or the top thing? So the terminal up here, or the so I basically have 3 slide things. So I have the log of what has happened, and then I have the sidebar with what workspaces we have, and then I have my console for debugging and working. Okay, so I'm not sure I will do a Telegram channel just yet. Maybe I will, maybe I should. I haven't thought about that. But let's just do this. Do I have Telegram on this one? I don't think I have. The top terminal, yeah. I think this one is really useful. And basically the fact that I can do like this and I get completely away from the main app and can just focus on what's wrong in the engine room, so to speak, is really, really helpful. And this is actually not meant for users to ever see, but it is quite useful. And I think people who are into the details of how things were built will actually appreciate this, because it has everything that's happening, like what's going on in your chat, what is the chat actually running, what TypeScript has been running, what were the results, what are the logs from the system, and all of that. So you have it all here, right? And I might need to silence some of the logs. And even how is the system prompt engineered, right? You have it all here, which I think is kind of nice and makes it easy to work with the system when you want to make small changes. All right, I'm getting so distracted now. I was thinking of just downloading Telegram. That was where we were at. Yep, if there are issues, it can be shown. Yes, exactly. And also a long-term vision I have for this is I want to be able to see. I want to be able to basically just have it self-diagnose, so produce all of the things I need to pass to Claude in order to make an improvement. And then build in extension development so we have an extension explorer inside of the thing. So if I go back here, just bring myself down here. So one of the things I've done is I've made this extension inspector, which basically allows you to see what are the commands it's producing. Are there any instances running, inputs, outputs, errors, and so on and so forth, which will help you diagnose specific tools. Like, for instance, we have linear. There is one instance running in workspace 1, and these are the commands it makes available to the agent and all of that. So just something nice like this, and then eventually there should be a copy and fix button where you can pass that right into your agent. Why are you blocking your agent just to the sandbox? Why not handle the full PC? Good question. Well, first of all, it has what I've seen is that computer use on the full PC is relatively hard to get to work well. And I think OpenAI and Codex both have failed at actually doing this well. It can kind of do it, but it doesn't really do it well. And so what I wanted to do is build something that's more agent native, something that the agent can do really easily and can do really well without that I have to interfere a lot. If it can access your PC, it can be very helpful. Yes, that's absolutely true. The problem is that the macOS desktop is not built to be accessed by an agent. It's built to be accessed by a human. And so really what we're doing here is we're providing a lot of things to make it easier. So besides providing things for the peripherals, we are also providing it with semantic search for things on the desktop itself. So basically what's happening is that when it want to find something, so for instance, when it's trying to find the title bar, it has helper functions to find those specific ones, and they do that really efficiently. And so that makes that it can interact with the platform in an efficient way that is making it a lot easier for it to navigate. And as such, it would be great to also be able to, for instance, develop iOS apps within this. But for my use case, for starters, just being able to do web pages and get that to work well is the number one thing. So I'm live again tomorrow at 10 CEST. So and it's basically every day, Monday through Friday, unless there's something coming up. But I'll let people know in the Discord channel. Let's see. Okay. This is nicely moving forward, hopefully by tomorrow. So what we're working on here is, besides working on our main system, I also have a web page here called trolls.im. And on this one, we have let me just do that again, trolls.im/live. Unfortunately, I've been really bad at updating the events on this one. And so what we are creating now is a synchronization method that will make sure that this one is always populated with when the next live sessions are coming up. All right, take care. It was great having you on the stream. I'll send you the link again tomorrow. Sorry, so you can try. Yeah, I'd be happy to see what you're up to. All right, let's see. My goodness, this is the world's longest build. Is this running on the right worker, or why is this taking so long? Okay. We're just going to leave that running and see. All right. Where were we? So I think we confirmed that memory is working. Let's just try that out. Okay, let's see if it actually remembers stuff. And why is it so slow at responding? This seems like we have introduced another bug into the system. That didn't, wait, what? Details in the log. Okay, we need to make this less noisy, so API error. What the? Let's get that fixed while we are at fixing stuff. So invoke. Interesting. Okay, let's just clear the logs. Oh, I haven't implemented that one. Okay, let's try this out again. Okay, cool. Memory worked. It figured out what the username is. Excellent. Okay. Could you explain what memory functions you have available. So for those of you who were with us yesterday, you'll recall that we were looking at quite a few different memory functions. So it has read, recall, contested, remember, claim, subject source. Okay. So one of the questions that I am wondering is, do we have the event observational memory piece in place? I am not sure we do. So let's ask Claude about that. Oh, it's still working here. Right, we asked it about and its reason is unclear. The error struct is the problem. Let me confirm the shape whether any retry exists. Should retry is never called. Okay, so we have a few things here that needs to be fixed. And then we need to return to the main issue before we divert too much here. Because we want to know if we have implemented all of the observational memory things that we had in mind. So basically what we really want to do is we want it such that the events that are happening here on the side, that these ones are nicely arranged into buckets of similar things, such that if we, for instance, are talking about something related to a specific feature development, that's ending up in one bucket and so on and so forth, such that it's easy for the agent to recall exactly what are we doing here and how are we doing these things. So I think that will work out just fine. Let's see. See, while we're waiting for that. Right. Let's see where Codex is, Claude is at. Okay, so this is fixed now. Next, let's ask it about. Okay, cool. We have a Telegram community available now. We just need to figure out how to connect that to the rest of what we're doing here, but I think that should be relatively straightforward, hopefully. Let me check this out. How do I get a stream key for that? Maybe I don't. Okay, I think this is something we will need to look into later on, how to actually stream directly to the Telegram channel. Okay, let's see, what does it say? No, unless finished than my own plan claimed. I checked rather than answering from memory. And the check was unkind. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So this has been a day full of memory disappointments. Claude started the day by claiming it was done, and I mean, nothing could be further from the truth. It's basically done none of the things that we asked it to do, and even though that these things are well documented in specs, we still need to get it done. What does Telegram have that Discord doesn't have? I don't think it has much. I think it's slightly more confusing. So the primary community will still be on Discord, and if this is mostly just to accommodate those who want to use Telegram instead. So just stay with Discord. That will be where most stuff is happening, and then things will be relayed to Telegram. Now let's see. So, okay. Okay, so it's basically not done this. Could you please implement everything that's missing. Claude sometimes hallucinates, but on the other hand, Codex can be good when understanding and writing code. Yeah, I found that Claude is slightly sloppy when it comes to following rules. So I think if you look at my Codex instance here, it's actually so it's following a whole bunch of rules that I'm having, including running checks every turn and stuff like that, which is just written. Claude doesn't do that, which makes it Claude is nice for doing fast stuff, but it's not as nice for actually checking that things were done well. But Claude is a good intern of designs. Yes. So I'm a little bit split between the two, because I do like the moving fast that I do with Claude. I do feel that it leaves behind some mess. And I've had good results with the Codex so far. But even so, I think managing the whole process is not necessarily the easiest. And the whole thing with claiming that it's done stuff is yeah. That's the thing that really annoys me. Another thing is that in my agent instructions, I actually have the instruction that it should do a self-review every so often, right? And so if we go, oh, what happened? I pressed a button. If we go to Codex, what you'll see happening here is somewhere here we should have a self-review, and it does this quite consequently. Let's see. YouTube Sync Outsider. What is this? Is this? No, not that. Right. Okay, so it hasn't done that yet, but what it will do eventually is it will run a red team, blue team sub-agent system where it has one agent attacking the system brutally, another one defending it the best it can based on the attack vectors, and then a judge deciding what of these things needs to be addressed right away, and what of them can be postponed. So you'll see here the independent review found substantive release blockers. So I'm not treating this as a feature as done yet. The one-way safety boundary is sound, but the atomic application leaves renewal, blah blah blah, and so it's going to move. It's going to start fixing this, right? And this is such a great thing to have. That's the issue that I think I have created my IDE so the agent checks and tells again you didn't. Yeah, exactly right. So getting the self check in is a major reason to have this multi-agent coordination. And it keeps doing it. Still, it doesn't. Still, it's not done like a goal. Yeah. That's exactly it. Right. And I found that in Codex, I can actually get this to run within the whole harness. With the Claude, not so much. You need to do more manual work to actually get it to work well. I heard something finished. Let me check this out. I think we might have merged the fix. Or maybe we haven't. Let's check it out. No, we haven't. Let's see. Holy crap, that's still stuck on building? My goodness, it seems that it's invalidated all the cache in the entire repository. Okay, oh well. Nothing to do about that. Okay. Cool. I actually have created my own harness at some point. Then I decided to abandon it again because there are just so many harnesses out there that I don't think the world needs another one. But let me show you here. I did back in December. I created. Wait, that was wrong. Let's see. So this one, I created this one at some point, and then I decided to not go on with it. It was pretty advanced for its time. So let me see. I think I have the CLI version is here, and it worked pretty well. It still has more things that needs to be done, but yeah, for what it was, it worked pretty well. Then after I made the CLI version, I actually went on and made a desktop version that had network support and everything and full linear integration. Used that for quite some time, and then eventually didn't have time to maintain it, so I dropped it. But a lot of the code that was developed for this particular system is being reused for some of the Wonop stuff that we're doing. Right, let's see. I wanted to go back and see. This one is almost done. So 90-something% done. So hopefully that lands within the next 10 minutes or so. And this one, I have no idea. I think one thing we will need to have is a memory explorer. That seems like a thing that we will need. Yep, nice idea to drop because the current harnesses are pretty nice. Yeah, exactly. And it seems like the companies like Claude and OpenAI just have so much money to throw at this that competing with that as a single individual just seems like the wrong niche to be in. And so that's basically, yeah, that's like basically where I'm trying to position this desktop thing that I'm working on, right? It should be the glue that works with everything rather than something that works in isolation. Because that has a few different aspects to it. The first one is that if it connects two things that you otherwise wouldn't get connected and adds value on top of that in terms of making it easier to understand what's going on, then that's already a huge value. And on top of that, there is the marketing aspect of being able to say, well, now we have integrated this as an open source package and you find it right here, right? So there are a few aspects of why I think this is the right direction to go. Okay, so this is failing. Let's see what's going on. That's probably, is it built or supply chain? No, it's built. And my laptop is working on fixing that, so that's great. So what is your feedback like for projects inside the app? Like annotations or just writing and explaining or screenshots? Yeah, that's a great question. We have basically all of it. So let me try to show you here what we are working on. Annotations is not quite there yet, but it was one of the first things I tested out whether I could figure out how to build, because it's probably the most useful way of giving feedback. So let's start it up again here. But the app can do screenshots. It can communicate between agents, and it can do a whole bunch of really useful things. So I would really want this voice fix to come in, because then we could do a really nice demo, but in the lack thereof, let's try to see if we can do this without. Okay. Could you start 2 Claude agents and put them on the desktop, please?
I'll start 2 thought agents now.
Okay. Could you make a screenshot of Birch and let me know what you see inside of Birch? Now, one of the problems here is we broke the voice API, but you see here, it actually takes a screenshot of the desktop to see what it looks like. And right now it can't see Birch because Birch is made into a widget. So once it becomes squeezed enough, it becomes a widget, but it can make these screenshots to see what's actually happening. The other thing we can do is agent coordination. So let's try this out. Could you tell Birch to send a message to Amber and get Amber to send a message back to Birch with her working directory, and then Birch to send a message back to you? Cool. And so what we saw here is, 1, we can take screenshots of the desktop, and 2, we can get the agents to communicate directly with each other, right? And so what we still need to get in here is we need to get it in such that we can have screenshots part of these messages, and this will allow us to have a review agent that actually tests whether the UI is working the way it should. The agents will also get access to being able to manage part of this workspace so they can spin up a browser and try out whether a fix is working or not, rather than having to rely on a user doing that. So I think all in all, that's going to be super powerful. And we're still in the process of testing this, but obviously we have the screenshot functionality, we have the communication functionality, and at this point, it's just a matter of refining things and making it work better together. So thanks. Yeah, I'm really happy with the animations as well. It still needs a bit of work, but it's a nice way to visualize what's actually going on your workspace. And this thing with having agent-to-agent messages, I think is a really, really nice concept as well. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's see. one thing we still need is we need to wake on inbox. So right now, the system agent does not wake on inbox messages, but that should definitely be there. Okay, and everything is passing here. Why have we not merged yet? So I hope you see the bigger vision we are working towards here, right? Agents can completely manage these windows within the environment. We can have agent-to-agent communication, and we have a single entry for managing the whole system, which means that we can instruct the system to have a QA agent and a front-end agent and a back-end agent, and each of them are taking care of each of their responsibilities. So the QA agent can then start a browser, test that things are working, taking screenshots of what's not, send it back to the agents that for which it's not working, right? And that's just one concept. So that's how you would use this in development. We can also integrate linear. We already have the app for that, which means that we can track the work we're doing and all of that. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it as well. And now we just need to fix the last bits. And let's see, we have just landed the PR, so let's get that merged in. There are still things outstanding here. Okay, so well, then wait, then fix any merge conflicts and get back to me. The main issue that looks odd is the current resizing of Windows and how it predicts when to hide the chat. Says terminal. Well, actually, the hiding of the chat is me doing that manually. So that has nothing to do with the agent framework. The issue with the desktop, let me show you here, because I think it's much less of an issue than you think. It's something that you need to get a bit used to, and it doesn't work well on a small screen, but we have a fix for that. And so the resizing into gadgets is probably going to be disabled by default. Or at least the margins are going to be quite different. But let me start this up, and I can try to show you the idea here. But these are still very experimental concepts, and some of them might not make it to the final app. It might also be that we simply just replace it by the ability to turn it into a widget. So we had that initially in some of the, I think a week back, rather than having the dynamic resizing, what we had was the ability to just turn something into a pet or a widget, which was worked nice, but it required more work in moving things around, because you had to find a little button and whatnot. But I take your feedback as something quite useful. Let me try to show you here. Bring this down here. Let's see. Right. So we have a grid on the background that looks like this. So inside of the main square, everything is staying normal size, and outside it scales down according to the sides. Now we can move these ones out, which means that the margin for the actual desktop becomes really big, and they just turn into widgets once they're out on the edge. Right, so if we do this, and we press here again, you see all of them are behaving like normal until you move it up here, right? And now I'm on a pretty small screen, but on a big screen you would have quite a lot of space, and then you can move things out here and they're just a widget, and you can move them back in to get them out. So that's one possibility. The other possibility is that you simply just turn it completely off like this, and now all the windows are just acting normal all the way around. So you can, now it doesn't matter where they are. So this is quite flexible, and it's meant for you to basically adjust to what your preference is. Whether that is to make it such that they can become super small, or just make it so you can rescale the windows a bit. It might also be that you make a much larger area here. So let's try to do that. Right, so now you can move your windows out here, and okay, that actually became a bit too small. Let's just do this. Well, the idea is that now you can move them out here, and they actually stay windows. They're just smaller than the ordinary windows. So now you can have an overview of what's going on. One thing I haven't done is I haven't made a property for when they turn into a widget. So right now they turn into a widget once you go below 50%, but otherwise not. And then inside the focus area, you can arrange the windows in a grid. So this is also something which is experimental, and it may survive, it may not survive. But the whole idea is basically to make it easy to arrange the windows and have a lot going on at the same time without being overwhelmed. So I hope that makes sense. Right. The other thing that is there, let me try to show you this, because that's something that's probably quite obvious, but which I think is pretty cool. So if we open the music player here, once you turn that, move that one out here. Oh wait, we need to play some music first. Let's just do dub step. Actually, let's bring in jet locks instead. That one doesn't interfere with our music. So here we have our logs for the repository about what we have been doing. Right, the moment I move that one out to the side, it becomes this mini log with what's going on. And so the widget is completely customizable, so you can add controls and all of that to it. So you can have these relatively complex things. And so for instance on Claude, we could have a summary of what's Claude doing right now. Is the layout is there a layout like organize all the visible windows properly so everything is visible in one click? Yes, I went into something here that I didn't want to go into. How do I close that again? That turned out to be full screen. Okay, let me just... close this completely. So, right. Let me just reread the question because, yes, okay, cool. Yes, we do have something for arranging that. that app is out of date, but this is actually a second-class app. So we have the one called Arrange. Arrange is a package that allows the agent to use this package to arrange windows. And so that has the functions for doing that, which means that you as the user of the system can either download some of the existing packages that will do the work for you, or you can go ahead and write your own that arranges things into your preferred way of things being. So I hope that makes sense as well. So all in all, this system is super customizable. Some of the concepts might not survive it all the way to production, but some of them I think are quite nice. Right, and I think the thing you're talking about is basically expose, isn't it? We have another thing where it's not quite what you're talking about, but if you press C, can I remember the shortcut for this? Oh, and I see I've broken that one. So that one needs to be fixed as well. Let's just try to bring this in here and make this slightly smaller. So that still needs a bit of work, but that's similar to expose on Mac OS. I think Windows also has that feature now, where if you press Command D, a lot of these are meant to... Oh, I see. The reason why you can't see one of them is because my head is on top of it. It basically moves everything except the focused window out to the side so you can see what windows are open. And then you can take another one and bring that one in such that that's the one that gets focus. Does that make sense? Yes, exactly like a workspace. And since all of this is running inside sandbox TypeScript functions, you could basically write your own thing. So let me show you some other things that I think is really cool. I really need to make a right-click button that does something here. So all of the... Basically everything is run by the TypeScript sandbox we have, which means that all the key bindings are binding to one specific, or is binding to a small TypeScript command, which means that in theory you could extend this with your own TypeScript commands through the extensions. And that means that if you have a certain way you would like Windows to arrange up all of that and have a shortcut for it, all you have to do is write the extension for it and you'll get that functionality. So I'm trying to not be prescriptive on how your workflow should be and rather make it such that it's super customizable for you. All right, with this, let's see if we fix the sound bug. Hey there, are you capable of saying anything at this point?
Yes, I'm here and able to speak. I'm still waiting for Birch to report back, unless you'd like me to check on it now.
Could you just do a check on that?
I'll check whether Birch or Amber has replied. Birch has reported back. The exchange is complete. Amber replied to Birch with her working directory, which is the Wonop project folder. Birch also noted that there isn't an agent literally named Jenny. So she sent the report to me through the system address.
I believe your name is Jenny, isn't it?
Yes, my name is Jenny. The workbench address for me is system, but I answer as Jenny.
Oh, no need to apologize. Look, I'm really happy to show this off and get some feedback on what people think, so don't worry about it. I'm basically just having fun here, so feel free to ask, feel free to interrupt. If I didn't want to be interrupted, I wouldn't be in a live stream. And besides that, we're testing now, and it seems that our voice fix is actually working. Could you open up Linear?
I'll open Linear now.
Okay, so inform both Birch and Amber that right now we're in demo mode. We're not going to make any code changes. They cannot make any code changes under any circumstances. And we just need to test that a few things are working.
I'll tell both Birch and Amber that this is demo mode and they must not change code.
Okay, I think they got back to you.
I'll check whether Amber or Birch replied. Yes, both replied. Birch acknowledged demo mode and said she will make no edits. Writes file modifying commands or commits. She also confirmed the earlier directory exchange was messaging only. Amber also acknowledged demo mode and said she'll do only read, only inspection. With no edit or write, no file modifying shell commands, and no commits or pushes.
Okay, so we are going to work like this. So Birch is going to be the project manager and Amber is going to be the developer. So all of your messages needs to be relayed through Birch. But the first thing you need to do is inform both of them about what they are supposed to do in the system. Could you do that?
I'll set Birch as project manager and Amber as developer, and tell them how messages should flow. I've informed Birch that she is the project manager and Amber that she is the developer. I also told them that messages between me and Amber should go through Birch, and that demo mode still means no code changes of any kind.
Excellent. Now, could you tell Birch that we are going to implement scheduled task for a specific day in Wonop? So have a look at Linear and find the relevant ticket, recite back to me what the ticket number is, and then go and send that off to Birch and say to Birch that she should be the one responsible for the execution and the QA of that. If she needs any agents, she should ask you to spin them up, okay?
I'll check Linear for the relevant ticket first. I didn't find a matching ticket with that exact search, so I'll broaden the Linear search. The relevant ticket is 1-300. Schedule tasks for a specific day and time in Wonop. I'll send that to Birch now. I found ticket 1-300. Schedule tasks for a specific day and time in Wonop, and sent it to Birch. I told Birch she is responsible for execution and QA. Should coordinate Amber through herself, and should ask me if she needs another agent spun up.
So one of the things we still need to implement is the wake on message for the system agents. I believe you have gotten a message from one of the agents. Could you just look at the message?
I'll check the latest agent messages now. Yes, Birch sent a new message. She acknowledged 1-300 and says she is acting as PM for execution and QA. with Amber as developer and all traffic relayed through her. She reviewed the linear ticket read only. The ticket is 1-300. Schedule tasks for a specific day and time in Wonop. It's in backlog. Unassigned priority none, with no comments. The description is brief. Add support in Wonop for scheduling tasks at a specific day and time, so users can plan future work and have it appear or trigger appropriately. Birch flagged that the ticket is underspecified. TIMEZONE, handling recurrence, what appear or trigger appropriately means. And what happens if scheduled time passes while the system is down are all open questions. She also did a read-only orientation scan and couldn't locate ONEUP in this repo, aside from incidental hits. She's asked Amber to investigate where Wonop lives. The existing task model, time-related fields, and scheduling primitives.
So
Without
I
changing
believe
code.
that there is a misspelling in the ticket. So Wonop should be spelled WONOP. Please inform Birch about that.
I'll pass that correction to Birch. I've informed Birch that ONEUP in 1-300 is a misspelling and should be read as Wonop, spelled WONOP. I also asked her to relay that to Amber and continue read, only in demo mode.
Yes, absolutely. I need that wake up call. So the system should wake up. In particular, if there's no ongoing conversation, it should just wake up, read its inbox, and basically get back to me with what is being said. So we're not quite there yet. As you can see, we've gotten quite far, but there are still a bunch of minor things, like, for instance, the sound was scratching. She's not replying quickly enough when we are talking to her. Keeps on sleeping when it should wake up. So we have a whole bunch of minor things, but yeah. So there's definitely still work to be done. But the good thing is that makes that I have content to do for the next live streams. But I am quite happy with where we are, though. I think we're getting to a point where this is advanced enough that you can start doing some real work with it. And yes, obviously the goal here is to never have to click any button. Yeah, exactly. We're getting to a point where this is usable, and this is why I'm hoping to ship the first version in around Monday, hopefully. And well, actually, we are going to end the live stream in about 4 minutes. So I think I might not be there when you're back, or maybe I will still give this another 10 minutes. But I was planning on slowly closing down for today, since I need to get some lunch. Could you just check the latest messages from the agents?
I'll check the latest messages from the agents. The latest message is from Birch with a 1-300 status report. She says Amber's investigation came in, but part of it was based on the old ONEUP wording. So Birch voided that part after receiving your correction that it means Wonop. She then QAD the rest read only and says the verified findings are strong. Her main finding is that Wonop already has durable scheduling infrastructure, and 1-300 should extend that rather than invent a new scheduler. She points to existing automation jobs with next run time, intervals, retries, status handling, atomic claiming, lease recovery, product, specific schedule workers, and existing TIMEZONE, DSD helpers. She also found that TOD OCRON scheduled exists but appears empty, and she found no code parsing CRON file names. So the ticket may be about making an already documented one oft-timed TODO convention actually work. The blocker she wants answered is, does appear or trigger appropriately mean the task becomes visible at that time? Or does something actively fire, like a notification, push, email, or agent run? She says those are very different implementations. She also asks 3 lower priority product questions. What should happen if the scheduled time passes while the system is down? Whether recurrence is in scope, and whether 1-300 should be designed together with 1-302. The Google Calendar ticket. She confirms that the linear ticket is still in backlog, unassigned, and still says Wonop at the source. No edits or code changes were made.
Okay, let's take one thing at a time. Could you update all the linear tickets and spell Wonop correctly?
I'll find the linear tickets that mention that misspelling first. I found 4 tickets with the misspelling, and I'll update their titles and descriptions where needed. The linear update is still running in the background. I'll wait for its completion notice before reporting whether it succeeded.
Okay, could you check your inbox?
I'll check. I'll open the inbox again and handle the newest relevant items properly. I handled the 2 newest relevant inbox items. Verify the linear ticket titles now so I can confirm whether the spelling update actually landed. The linear spelling update landed. 1-300, 1-302, 1-303, and 1-304 now say Wonop in their titles and descriptions. One important update from Birch. She retracted the earlier recommendation about using the server-side automation job stack. She now says the relevant workbench stack is local SQLite, and there is already a local deferred inbox scheduler with a 15-second sweep. Her main question is now whether 1-300 is for the Wonop workbench or Wonop planner, and then whether scheduled tasks should merely appear at the time or actively trigger something.
All right, I think we're at the point where we have shown the base system. Like, we have had everything through the run here, right? We have the system agent that's managing everything, been able to open an application, linear specifically, to get a ticket out, get the ticket to be managed by a single agent, and then have that agent relay that to a worker agent. We do need to figure out, so one thing that came out of this is, how are we going to deal with the missing specs, right? How are we going to get to a point where when there are missing specs, basically we want somebody in the system to be responsible for collecting the missing requirements. And then from those requirements, we should update the ticket so that there is a great spec of what are we trying to do here. And so these are things that we'll need to work on and figure out exactly how they're going to work. But I think this gives you a great idea of what the base system is looking like. And I am pretty happy with where we are now at this point. So I think we are going to nice and slowly shut down the live stream for today. It's been a great pleasure to having you all here, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to continuing this. I think we're getting to a point where we'll manage to do something pretty exciting. So once we take this just a little bit further, you'll have a browser that they can interact with. You'll have a PDF viewer they can interact with. You'll have a markdown editor so we can do markdown, and hopefully the last of our memory is landing. Actually, let's just check this while we are checking stuff. I can feel I'm not quite ready to stop this. Gaps verified, not fixed. Okay, so there are still gaps in our memory implementation, and that needs to be fixed. But I think once we have those memory things fixed, I think we are going to be in a great place. Just being able to have a persistent memory that makes it easy for the agent to work out exactly what are we doing and how are we doing things is yeah, let's see. Residency classes always name pronouns is dead. Okay. Yeah, no worries. Hope to see you again tomorrow. And yeah, feel free to be active in the community. I'll be around all day. So, but yeah, we are going to end things things here. We are going to get to after the stream. I'm going to kick this off, and then we will get back tomorrow and see where we're at. Hopefully that piece will be working, and we can start smoothing out all the rough edges and get to the point of a working product. So thank you everyone for watching along, and see you again tomorrow.